time to sell the Corsa.
Right?
Now boys, this is something I've been thinking about for quite a while, you know. I've been driving now for almost a year, February 28th or something like that, I was when I passed my test. And I've been thinking that it's time for a change. My car it's fast enough for what I do, but it's not the quickest car, and I'm not too fussed about speed. But when getting up a hill, man, that thing cannot climb. Even with me, the skinny legend over here, I can't get up a hill in that car. I need something that's a bit more powerful, that looks better, and in all honesty, is better for you guys, easier to mod, better to mod, is more interesting in general. But yeah, I think it's time to get rid of the Corsa. But before I do anything like that, there's so many things I need to do. That one boat, she looks like bloody Peppa Pig right now, she's so pink. Yeah! I want to have her up by the end of the month, for sale that is. We've got quite a few things I need to do before she is even in a position where I can look to sell her, because the speakers are not very good, and believe me, no one's going to want to buy a car with blown speakers. It's just not very nice, is it? You want good sounding quality audio. And I need to just give her a detail. She's very dirty on the inside, very dusty. We need to give her a clean. So this is going to be like a small mini series over the next couple of weeks, just getting my car ready to get her for sale. But whilst that's happening, guys, I want you to let me know down in the comments what car you think I should be getting next. I don't want anything that's going to be crazy on insurance or anything like that, because I've only got a year of experience, all right? We can't be getting anything too expensive, but looking at maybe a BMW 1 Series. I think without any further ado, let's get the cars swapped around, because this is my mum behind me right now. Let's get mine up on the drive and let's start cracking on some of the issues, because we've got a lot to be figured out, so let's do this. Now when working with a door like this, to, you know, to try and access what's behind the door card, it's always good to try and find your fixing positions first. So on here on the Corsa, you'll have one on the side down there. You'll have one on the bottom just about there. And then there is one behind that, just there in the handle. And then there's one behind here, or two, I can't remember how many, that sit just behind this little piece of trim. So to get this off, there are a few clips, or you can just pop it off without breaking the clips, hopefully. Very fiddly little thing. Come on. Like that. There we go. And then behind here, you'll have a bolt just at the back there. It won't focus. But there are the 4 bolt positions. And then once you pop all 4 of them off, your door card should hopefully, if there's nothing else holding it, just pull off. So we're going to give that a go now. Well, the door just came off. That was easy. Now, let me explain why I'm actually doing this, because it might just seem like, well, why is he pulling it apart when he's got, you know, perfectly good speakers? Well, for a while I've heard something rattling on this side of my car, and I thought it'd be my speaker, maybe like loose or something. But it's come to my attention, I think this has just fell off, because as soon as I opened up the car, well, my cat's just got inside my car. Oh my god. Ah, she's brilliant. But no, it looks like this has just come loose, which is a really easy fix. But whilst we're here, we may as well explain how you can change your speakers whilst you know, whilst your car's like this, because changing speakers on any car may be slightly difficult, because you might need certain wiring kits or like connecting looms or something like that. So let's just explain that quickly. Now, most cars will come with a speaker down here, and then what's known as a tweeter, which will sit kind of like up here. You can see it sits right there, and that is this one here, this little boy. He's tiny, isn't he? But as you can see, most speakers, they'll come in this part of your car, in kind of the front right of your door. And the wiring for this ended up being a little connector, as you can see just here. Now, that connector you normally have to buy, because the wiring that comes stock in the car probably won't have the connector on it. If it does, then I'm not sure why. It'd be some aftermarket speakers that you've probably got already on the car, but they'll come wired in anyway. So this little piece of kit here, I think maybe stock on this car, I'm not entirely sure, but this little piece of kit, basically you get the positive and negative lines, I think it is, from the speaker. You run it up, I think you connect it onto this, you kind of like snap them together, and then this just kind of slots in, and then you just bolt your speaker onto your door, and that's that done. And this was rattling, but I think what it was just rattling was this came loose, because this speaker is very, very on there. It's not moving anywhere. So I think this just came loose. I've popped this back in. This ain't going anywhere now. So I think this is this side of the car done. I will just check it with a bit of music just to see if it's rattling at all. But I think that is that done, and we shouldn't have to worry about that now. And I can just put this door card back on and work on that side if there's any problems, but I don't think there is.
Slim Shady, please stand up.
Look at the flick of their wrist. Look at the flick of their wrist. Look at the flick of their wrist.
It's a new day, the weather's finally better, and I think it's time to work on the rear speakers now. But before I do so, I need to first clear out my boot. So with the power of editing, here we go. And there we go, the boot is now empty. And the reason I've done that is because to access the rear speakers, you have to take a lot of the interior out of the car, including all the stuff in the boot. So I say without any further ado, let's start removing some of these pieces, because it's a long old work. Because it's a long old job. Yeah, that's right. It's a long old job. Now with the carpet removed out the bottom of the boot, and the boot cover that kind of sits on top, it's time to start working at the chairs. And you see these Torx heads down here, I think they're T50s. These two need to come out. They release the brackets for the chair. Once done that, the chair should be able to fall forward. This will come off, and there's more that needs to be removed from the bottom of these seats before any work can be done to actually take them out fully. So now on the inside of the car, I've just removed these three caps here, which sit underneath the actual seat itself, and it reveals these Torx bolts, which when you remove these, this bottom seat here becomes loose. This needs to come out first, because then it gives us full access to remove the backs of the chairs. Now, once all the bolts have been taken out of the bottom of the seat, actually popping the seat out can be quite difficult, because these little holes here, they clip over this, kind of hooks in, sits over like this. So you have to push the chair back and then kind of lift up at the back and pull forward. It's quite difficult to do by yourself, so if you can do it, I definitely recommend doing it with somebody else. But once that's out, you now need to take off the bolts for each of the seat belts, as that releases the brackets for these. And then if you remove the ones behind the chair, this hopefully should all just start to be free and move out. And then there's like two kind of spring-loaded bits either side which fully lift the chairs out. And once you've done that, this whole thing here, these back to the chairs, should all just come out from the car, and then you can start actually working on the sides for the speakers. Removed the bolts from the seat belts, taking the seat belts out. Now that that's done, we come back into the boot of the car, and these down here, these little couple of Torx heads where, once they've been taken out, these seats will just pop out. Well, they won't. There's one more bit down the side that you need to just take off, then pop them out so they're spring loaded. So you can see the seats are now quite loose, but the next thing we're going to do is actually push them down forward like this, like that, and then the other one as well, because doing that now gives us access to this little port down here, which if you pop off, Now that the seats are removed, I've managed to pop out the springs from there and there. We now have a big open space to be able to work on both sides. But there's just a few more little bits of trim we need to remove before we can actually access the speakers. Starting off with the door sill here, which is actually really easy. What we need to do is just basically pull it away from the car like this. Bring all the way down. You only want to remove till about here so you can access these bits, and then you probably want to remove it about to there as well. So you just get all of this part of the door ready to be worked on. You want to do that to both sides, because then you can remove this whole bit of trim here, which is where the speaker housing is, and that allows you to actually access the speakers fully. And it's a lot easier when having all this space instead of having the chairs in the way. So let's start removing this trim now. And there we go, guys. After one bolt up here later and pulling this door card off, we now have full access to the speaker, which is here, which is vibrating a lot. It might be because it's slightly loose on here and there's no like kind of the foam that sits behind the bracket that holds the speaker on. That might be the issue, so I might have to go pick some of that up. But yeah, at the moment we've actually now got access to the speaker, so let's start figuring out the reason as to why it is actually vibrating and doesn't sound very good. Right then, one quick pit stop to hold us later, and we've got some speaker vibration deadening stuff. This can basically sit behind the bracket and hopefully stop it from vibrating, because it sounds quite bad right at the moment. It sounds quite bad at the moment. So I don't think the speaker's blown. I think it's just, oh my gosh, my cat's back again, boys. I don't think the speaker's blown. I think it just needs some sort of deadening behind it. Like I basically got some, I think it's like a bit of like some sheet that you stick on the back of it or something. We'll give it a fiddle and see what happens. Let's crack on with this. This as well, guys, just want to let you know that if you are new around here, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could go down there and hit that subscribe button. 2024, it's a new year, and I've got some higher expectations of myself, and hopefully the videos will improve gradually as well. I'm only new to the YouTube scene, so if you guys could hit that subscribe button, I'd really appreciate it. This speaker right now is being a pain in my backside and is not moving, which is frustrating. Oh, this is on there well. And with a couple more twiddles, there comes the speaker. Now this speaker I have actually soldered on, so there shouldn't be an issue with the speaker itself. I think it's just the behind of the speaker, like I said. I think it's just it's just loose. It was loose, wasn't it, when we were taking it off? So I reckon it was just vibrating a bit. But if I was to hold it in place, I reckon it'll be all right. So let's try and get some of this sound absorption stuff on. I'm not actually entirely sure what this is. But I've got 2 rolls of it in here, which I'm not going to need, because for the 2 speakers that I'm doing, I've got a whole welcome mat, but 2 of them of this. I think this is going to be far too much. But yeah, we're just gonna, we'll give this a go. We'll cut some of this up and we'll stick it on the back of the bracket and we'll see what happens. Okay, so we've now got the sound absorption or the vibration absorption stuff stuck onto the back of the bracket for this speaker. Now it's time to clip this back together and stick it back on. So first of all, click the adapter back on, like so. Line up the speaker where it needs to go. Maybe even grab one of your bolts at the same time. And kind of put it in, and then, well, I've just dropped my my Torx head. And yeah, you kind of just want to start screwing it back in really until it's back on again. Then we'll give it a little test run, see if it's all right. Well then, that is the speaker back on. She is not moving anywhere. Fingers crossed now, when we try her out, there's gonna be no vibration coming from this because there's a bunch of sound deadening behind. No guys, unfortunately yesterday I was trying out some new mics and they ended up dying. But as I was saying, the sound deadening I put behind the speaker actually eliminated all of the vibration, which is perfect. I haven't put the car back together yet because I've still got to clean out the inside, but once I've done that, then I think it'll just be polishing up the paint and then the car should be done. But that's where I was going to leave it this week, so make sure to tune back in next week on Sunday. Have a great week, guys, and see you then. Peace out.